This is Fam Electric Ghost, and this episode is Beautiful Early Morning Dawn and Expansive Sound Painting. Now, the idea of an expansive sound is that we use hardware synths and we record them live onto a Zoom R24, and we don't use a digital audio workstation. The whole point of this is to have this kind of point in time improvisational jazz or jam band influenced style to our music, where we play the filters, which means if you have a Moog, you use all the dials and the knobs for the cutoff and the filters and the envelopes and the LFOs, and you play those dials as you record. And because of that, you get a situation where your recording is very unique and point in time and can't be recreated exactly using a DAW. That you're not doing this level of precision that you do in a DAW that creates really tight musical compositions, but sometimes they have no life and they sound tinny and they sound not vibrant. If you go back and listen to bands like the Allman Brothers, bands like Radiohead, there's this feel, or even like a classic band like Crazy Horse, compared to when Neil Young did Harvest with like Nashville studio musicians. Crazy Horse records like Zuma and like Time Fades Away or Tonight's the Night have this kind of loose feel that is very enticing. And I think sometimes in electronic music, people have forgotten that the improvisational techniques or kind of just playing the instrument rather than playing the DAW can give you a sound that's a lot more expansive and more painting-like. And what Hendrix talked about with Electric Ladyland, when somebody asked him about what it was, he wants a sound painting. And that's what we like to do. So Beautiful Morning Dawn comes from a concept we had because we used to write poetry. We have some published poetry that we did back in the early, late 80s, early 90s, showing my age. So we took this idea that with Josephine Electric talking about how you shouldn't try to remove yourself from the scene. You shouldn't give up because you should wake up and know that there's always going to be another beautiful morning dawn. And what's interesting with this, we have a Yamaha mixer that we incorporated into our workflow. And the interesting thing is we have like 3 mixers. So we initially have an MX1 performance mixer that we use in real time that lets you do all kinds of effects and apply it to the signal. We use that to take monophonic signals from our analog synths, like the Moog and the Arturia. We have a Moog Mother 32 and an Arturia Mini Root 2S, and then we have a Moog DFAM. We take those monophonic signals and we bring them into the MX1 and then output them as stereo into a Zoom R24. But now what we're doing is we're bringing that into a Yamaha mixer and then bringing it into the R24. What that does is it lets us use the compression on that mixer. It lets us use, modify the gain and add effects and the highs and the lows. We get a little bit more control over the signal. So we have further levels of control over the signal that we bring into the Zoom, which we just attempted on the 2 songs that are in this episode. So that gives us some interesting control. We saw that the Behringer just released an interesting digital mixer called the Wing, which looks pretty cool and looks like it actually has a recorder. And we might be very interested in that. Though we were looking at the R24 from Tascam because that's more analog. And with our analog gear, we might like that better. But it looks like the Wing has a lot of capability. And I just like to check the sound. If somebody would do a comparison between the Tascam 24 and the Wing, that would be cool to see. Like if you have analog gear, is there a better result with the Tascam versus the Wing? Given the modern era with all the cool things and plugins you could use, I bet the Wing could probably hold its own. But, I want to see if the Tascam actually has a sound quality to it that might be interesting. it's a lot cheaper. It's only like 900 versus 3,000. So then that kind of maybe tells you that the wing maybe has a lot more capability sonically. And I know you could take the wing and put it into a show, and then you'd have your own board. That would be pretty impressive. Let's get back into the song. Beautiful Morning Dawn has a lot of LFO modulation going on that we've been playing with, using the Maths utility module for Make Noise, which allows you to create an LFO. We also are using, you can actually do like 2 LFOs with this machine. And then we've got an LFO on the Moog Mother 32 and one on the Going for Another Mother, the DFAM. And then we've got 2 LFOs on our Arturia Mainboot 2S. In addition, we have a Pittsburgh modular 4x2 mixer. Or 2x4, we always get confused. But basically, you can take 4 VCA signals and bring them out, and level them out in the Eurorack before they even hit. So they then get maybe, we have 4 mixers, because that allows us to take the voltage-controlled amplifier signals from the modular analog sense and control their levels before they even hit the MX1, which is pretty interesting. So with all this strange stuff going on, we've got this strange kind of white noise modulation happening at the beginning of the song. We've got the Yamaha mixer that we use that's creating a distortion effect. We're using a Juno GI for a guitar running through a filter on the MX1 mixer. And then we've got a sonic profile on our Zoom R24 that we're running through. So we've got a lot of cool capabilities, and then we actually mastered it using Beautiful Audio, which is an online tool that you can use on a Chromebook, which is one of the rare tools that you actually can use on a Chromebook. So we use that, and then we also use like Landar, which has been something we've been using for a long time. So that song is a strange bird. And then we've got this other song called Dirty Hands, which actually has the same kind of workflow. It's just more of, we talked about it last time. We included it here because it still has a sound to it that's a little different than what we were doing with Beautiful Morning Dawn. Beautiful Morning Dawn is a more positive song, trying to come out of a bad vibe and find positivity in life, where the Dirty Hands, I think we got cut off a little bit in the last clip. But one of the things we were looking at is, the Jupiter XM. We always talk about synths. And this synth has been kind of denigrated by a lot of Behringer boys or the Behringer fan club because they say it costs too much. But I think what they don't understand about this is a little micro synth, kind of like a JDXI, which I have. Now, the JDXI has many keys. Everybody knew it had many keys, but it has a lot of capability. And this is an example. Like a JDXI has a 5-part system. It's semi-analog, has analog filters, analog sound, along with supernatural sounds. And then the 5 parts, it can run through its own sequencer. You have a digital part, 2 digital parts, an analog part, drum machine part, and then you've got this kind of, you have the drum part. So the problem with it initially was that you can only do like 4 parts, like 4 bars. But we found that if you bring it into a sequencer like an Arturia Arturia Beatstep Pro, you can extend it with chain patterns. And that's where the Ghost, we did a lot of our earlier records, like Something Wicked, Indigo Menace, with this procedure. So if you look at a Jupiter XM, what it does is it has kind of System 8, but now it's got this Zencore stuff, which the difference is the System 8 is only 8 voice, and it sounds pretty close to analog. The Zencore allows you to do what my Juno has been doing since 2008. It can do 256 voices of polyphony. So what you have with a Zencore is you have an emulation of a Jupiter 8, Juno 106. It's got a polyphonic SH101. It's got the RD piano. It's got the Jupiter, JX 8P. So what that basically does is it allows you to have that up to 256 voice polyphony, and that is something that I don't think the Behringer boys understand. Because like when you're writing a composition, if you've listened to us, and we've been able to get on 2 record labels and create all these sounds that we've done over the last 5-6 years, and a lot of it has been on our Juno. The Juno's not as sexy as a Prophet, not as sexy as the Moog, and we have Moogs, we have an Arturia, but when you're gonna play pads or pianos or do things that require 2 hands, and you can't afford a $4,000 analog synth that's not even going to be able to do that. That's why you use a workstation. That's why you use like a Juno. It's a workhorse. That's why you do it, because you want to be able to bring those things in. And sometimes in your mix, you need a digital synth to do the things that the analog synth can't do. So what they I think the fans of the Behringer fail to understand is, like, it's great you can go get an RD 808, but I've got an 808 inside my JDXI and I use it with my Beat Set Pro, and then also I can use supernatural sounds. And so when I'm creating a sound painting or a sound experience, I use the Juno for what it can do. But if I want to do a nice heavy bass, I use the Moog. If I want to do a real heavy lead that cuts through the mix, I use my Moog or my Arturia, or I use my Eurorack components. I use them for what tones I need to use them for. So if you look at the Jupiter XM, the benefit of this is that you can layer a Juno with a Jupiter or an SH-101. You can mix them. You can use multiple digital faux analog filters in a way that you can't do with an analog machine. These sound capabilities are very useful, and the package is very useful. And you can get around the fact that it has the mini keys by either using your Juno through MIDI, which I've been doing a lot with my JDXI, or you could go get an Arturia Keylab and get a really nice key bed and then trigger it, and then you've got all like a sound module that gives you all this capability. So I don't think it's a bad machine. I think there are people that just can't afford it and are upset that it costs as much as it does. And that's a different issue. If you look at what it can do, and tell me what synth can do that with all that polyphony, and give you a package. If you go to the show and you want to kick off like synth wave type sounds, it's kind of just as valuable as a System 8, but actually more valuable because you're more polyphony. So you can do a lot more layering. You could sound like The Cure a lot faster than you could with an analog system, because it would take you a lot to do that. You'd have to get way more expensive synth, like an OB6 or a Prophet 6, or like a Moog 1 to sound like that, and that's a lot more money. So if you're looking toward you want to bash Roland all the time, there's a lot of folks that use Phantoms. There's going to be a lot of people using Jupiter X's because it gives you the sounds that you want to use. And you can talk about all you want, but I don't see a lot of people using Deep Minds instead of using Phantoms. More people are using Phantoms than Deep Minds. So more people are using Junos than Deep Minds. So you think about that. So I'll talk to you later, and just think on those things. And before you bash any of the synth companies, look at what they can do. Again, just the one to say, if you want FM synthesis, you're going to go to Yamaha. If you want supernatural, you want Juno and Jupiter sounds, you're going to go to Roland. If you want somebody just like replicating other people's sounds, and then go to Behringer. I'll talk to you later. You got dirty hands. You got dirty hands. You got a piece of everybody in every land. You got dirty hands. You got a piece of everybody in every nation all around. It's not underground. It's not underground. Board, flaring around underground. the nation for your own verification. Selling out the nation for your own personal gratification. Dirty hand. Selling out the nation for your own personal gratification. Selling out the nation for your own personal gratification. Everyone acts like they don't see it. Everyone acts like they don't see it. Everyone acts like they can't believe it. Everyone knows they're a deceiver. Everyone, all the true believers, dirty hands, selling it out the pocket, like an 8-ball inside. Dirty hands, are you gambling man? Currency of the USA is a thing. Whatever you want, say it. Currency of the USA is do whatever you want to. Play however you want to play. Dirty hand. Do whatever you want to do today. Your enemy is a friend of mine. Enemy is a landmine. Enemy, all you don't understand. Enemy is such a good man. Oh, he buys my hotel. As long as you buy my hotel room, we can be friends real soon. Dirty hands. Do what you want to, even if it's not true. Keep it lewd, keep it rude, keep it untrue. Keep it lewd, keep it rude, keep it untrue. Dirty hands, something that you can understand. Selling out the nation, selling out everyone, selling out the nation, depending on one. Word is born. The underlying currency is shit. that Mitch. You can blame that Mitch. Cause the underlying currency is shit. Currency is shit. You can blame that Mitch. You can blame that Mitch. The underlying currency is fixed. Currency is fixed.
Never surrender, never play our part, never surrender, there's always another dawn, we'll be honest and strong, don't be gone, you know, you should always go on, never surrender, don't be gone. Don't play that big crescendo in that song. Never surrender, all things are wrong. And you're eternal, you should go on and on. Breaking symmetry can't be wrong. That's different, symmetry breaking all night long. Different symmetry. Breaking all night long. Never surrender. Don't be gone. Gotta wake up. The next morning dawn. Not eternal. Go on and on. Come wicked century. Is the point of the song. Fearful. Go on and on. No, you're not to sleep. No, they're a bunch of creeps. No, they're stuck in this scene. No, it's not time for you to live. On and on. Don't be a big crescendo in your out-of-key song. There's always another morning dawn. Never surrender. Go on and on. There's always another beautiful morning dawn. Don't let them creep on you. Don't let you be wrong. You're eternal, so it goes on and on. Never surrender. Don't be done wrong. Let the symmetry go on and on. Don't be wrong, don't be gone. There's always another beautiful morning dawn. And like the insurgent tigers, you go on and on. Don't let a bunch of fools end your song. That is wrong. Wrong. Just be knows shouldn't be a big crescendo in that key song. Don't be wrong. You're eternal. And like you said, it's on and on. Don't be wrong. There's always been a beautiful morning dawn. Not to let the cowardice go on and on. Don't be wrong. Don't be gone. Something goes on and on. Don't let them make you do it wrong. Don't surrender. Don't be a big crescendo. Down September. Don't surrender. Just remember. But in symmetry is not the end of the song. It goes on and on. Don't be wrong. Don't be wrong. Don't be wrong. Don't be wrong. Wake up, beautiful